coins, collectibles, or just love uncovering hidden treasures from your pocket change, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that many people overlook but could actually be worth much more than you think. I'm talking about the 1965 United States quarter dollar, a coin that might be sitting in your drawer right now. And believe it or not, some versions of this coin have sold thousands. So stay tuned because we're about to unlock its fascinating history, the secret to spotting the valuable versions, and the latest market value for collectors. This is one video you don't want to miss. Let's rewind to the mid-1960s. America was changing, politically, socially, and economically. And in the world of coins, something major happened in 1965 that would change U.S. currency forever. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. These silver coins had real metal value, which meant as silver prices began to rise in the early 1960s, people started hoarding coins. Banks were running low, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure. So, in 1965, the United States Mint made a monumental decision. They removed silver from quarters altogether. That year marked the first time quarters were made with a clad composition, a copper core with an outer layer of nickel. It was cheaper, faster to produce, and eliminated the risk of people melting them for silver. But here's where it gets interesting. The switch wasn't perfectly smooth. There were some transitional errors, some mysterious strikes, and some incredibly rare varieties that slipped through the cracks. And those are the ones that can fetch thousands of dollars in today's coin market. The 1965 quarter looks nearly identical to the silver coins that came before it. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, you'll see the profile of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty arched above his head and the phrase, "In God We Trust," inscribed to the left. At the bottom, it reads, 1965, marking the year of minting. The reverse shows the iconic heraldic eagle, wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a symbol of strength and peace. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, and the phrase, E pluribus unum, and below, quarter dollar. But despite the standard design, not all 1965 quarters are created equal. Now let's talk value. A standard 1965 quarter made with copper nickel is usually only worth its face value, 25 cents. But there are exceptions. Here are the key rare varieties you should be on the lookout for. Yes, you heard that right. Even though silver was officially discontinued in 1965, a small number of quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. These silver coins look almost identical to regular 1965 clad quarters, but the difference is in the weight. A regular 1965 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver version weighs around 6.25 grams. That tiny difference could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, one 1965 silver quarter sold at auction for over $7,000. Double die errors occur when the coin's design is stamped more than once slightly off-center. This can cause the text or numbers to look doubled, especially in the word Liberty, the date 1965, or the eagle's feathers. While not as rare as the silver error, these can still sell for between $50 to $500 depending on the clarity and condition. Sometimes a quarter will be struck incorrectly, causing the design to appear off-center or even partially blank. These mint errors are always in demand among collectors and can range from $100 to over $1,000 depending on the severity and appearance of the error. Collectors often seek out quarters where the eagle's tail feathers and the drum lines on the arrows are fully visible and sharply struck. These full drum line versions in mint state conditions, especially graded MS66 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can command premium prices up to several $100s. Here's the big question. How do you know if your 1965 quarter is worth big bucks? Use a precise digital scale. If the coin weighs close to 6.25 grams, it could be one of the rare silver error strikes. Clad coins have a distinct reddish-copper stripe along the edge. Silver quarters have a pure silver look with no visible copper. If yours has no red stripe, it might be silver. Look closely for any signs of doubling, off-center designs, or odd misprints. The higher the condition, the higher the value. Coins with no scratches, shine, and perfect details are considered mint state and can drastically increase the value. Now, let's talk about what collectors are paying for these coins right now. As of 2025, here are some recent market values and auction results. A 1965 silver quarter sold by Heritage Auctions brought in $7,050 in mint condition. Double die quarters have been auctioned for anywhere from $80 to $450. Depending on clarity. ANMS 67 grade 1965 quarter without any rare errors still fetched $500 just due to its condition. Off-center strikes have pulled in $200 to $1,000, especially if they're dramatic and well-preserved. On average, a typical 1965 clad quarter in circulated condition is worth about 25 cents to $1, but the rare versions? They can turn into a small fortune. So next time you go through your spare change or clean out an old coin jar, don't ignore the 1965 quarters. That common-looking coin could be a treasure in disguise. Whether it's a silver error, a rare misstrike, or a beautifully preserved high-grade example, it's always worth checking. Do you have a 1965 quarter? Let us know in the comments. Share a photo or tell us your coin story. And if you found this video helpful or fascinating, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin content, and ring that bell so you never miss a future video. If you're a collector, a history buff, or just someone who loves the thrill of finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, then you're going to want to stick around for this video. Because today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable coins still circulating in the United States. The 1974 Washington quarter dollar. This coin may seem ordinary at first glance. It's something you might toss into a vending machine or find buried under your couch cushions. But trust me, the 1974 US quarter has secrets, stories, and surprises you won't believe. And yes, some of them could be worth a lot of money. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let's uncover the true value of this unassuming piece of American history. To understand why the 1974 quarter is so fascinating, we have to go back in time, all the way to the early 1970s. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, inflation was on the rise, and the American economy was shifting rapidly. Coinage during this time underwent changes, too. But before we dive into the coin's value, let's talk design. The 1974 quarter, like its predecessors since 1932, features the iconic image of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This design was created by John Flanagan, a sculptor chosen to commemorate Washington's 200th birthday in 1932. On the obverse side, you'll see Washington's profile facing left, with the words Liberty above his head and In God We Trust to the left. The reverse side shows an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. Above the eagle are the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one. Now let's talk about what this coin is actually made of. The 1974 quarter was struck with a copper-nickel clad composition, which had replaced silver a few years earlier in 1965. So no, your standard 1974 quarter isn't made of silver. But don't stop watching just yet, there's more to this story. Over 801 million quarters were minted in 1974 across different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Here's the breakdown. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, over 350 million produced. Denver Mint, D mint mark, over 353 million produced. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark. Proof coins only, about 2.6 million. That's a staggering amount of coins, which makes it easy to assume these are all low-value coins. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1974 quarters are created equal. Some contain rare errors, and others are part of mystery mintings that slip through the cracks. Let's take a look at the most valuable types. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 1974 D quarter with a doubled die on the obverse. If you look closely under magnification, you may see doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust. These can be extremely rare, and if certified by a grading company, they can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. If your 1974 quarter was struck off center, say by 10% or more, it becomes a collectible error. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Some of these can range from $50 to over $500 depending on how far the strike is off. This occurs when part of the metal blank is missing before being struck. A clean clipped edge can significantly raise a coin's value. Although officially the U.S. Mint ceased silver coin production for general circulation after 1964, there are always rumors and occasional discoveries of test strikes or transitional errors. If a 1974 quarter was accidentally struck on a leftover 40% silver planchet from the Eisenhower dollar production or earlier coinage experiments, its value could skyrocket. Yes, a 1974 quarter struck on a silver planchet is exceedingly rare, but not impossible. Collectors care a lot about condition. A 1974 quarter pulled from circulation with scratches and wear might be worth 25 cents, but a high-grade, mint state example can bring much more. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for $50 to $300 or more, especially if they're well struck with clean surfaces. The highest auction price for a 1974 quarter in pristine condition can go well above $1,000, particularly for rare varieties or proof coins. The 1974 S-proof quarter is a beautiful piece. It was never meant for circulation and was sold directly to collectors in special sets. These proof coins have a mirror-like surface and sharp details. If you come across one in its original condition or in a seal-proof set, it might be worth between $3 and $15, sometimes more if graded. If you find a 1974 S-proof coin with an error, say, a double die, or one struck on the wrong planchet, then you're looking at a much more valuable item. Now let's talk current market value and demand. While the average circulated 1974 quarter is still worth face value, certain examples are increasingly in demand among collectors. Error coins, high-grade specimens, and rare varieties are hot items in the numismatic community. Online marketplaces, coin shows, and auctions show consistent interest. Some graded coins have sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars, especially when accompanied by grading certificates or unique provenance. So what should you do if you have a 1974 quarter in your pocket? Look for the mint mark, a D for Denver, or a no mark for Philadelphia. Check for errors. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date, lettering, and rims. Weigh the coin. A normal quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, you might have an error or wrong planchet compared to known examples. Online coin databases and auction listings are great for reference. Get it graded. If your coin appears to be in exceptional condition or you suspect a rare error, consider sending it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Most 1974 quarters will still only be worth a quarter. But for the sharp-eyed collector, the hidden gem is out there. Whether it's a rare double die, a dramatic error, or a proof specimen in flawless condition, your 1974 quarter might be worth far more than you think. So the next time you get change from a store or find some old coins in a drawer, don't just glance and toss them aside. Take a closer look. You could be holding a piece of American history and a potential small fortune right in the palm of your hand. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting! Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1986 United States quarter dollar. It may look like just another everyday coin, but believe me, there's more than meets the eye with this one. By the end of this video, you might be flipping through your change drawer to see if you've got a hidden gem just waiting to be discovered. So, grab your magnifying glasses, and let's uncover the secrets of the 1986 quarter. Let's take a step back in time to the year 1986. Ronald Reagan was president. The Space Shuttle Challenger had just tragically been lost. Halley's Comet made a historic return. And amid all this, The United States Mint quietly continued producing coins that would pass through the hands of millions of Americans every single day. The 1986 quarter dollar is part of the Washington Quarter Series, which began way back in 1932. That year marked the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and to honor the nation's first president, the U.S. Mint released a new quarter design featuring Washington's profile on the obverse, the front of the coin. That design stayed in use for decades, including in 1986. But here's the thing: while the 1986 quarter may look ordinary, its story, rarity, and potential value are anything but. The 1986 Washington quarter was minted at two major facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. You can tell where your coin was minted by looking for the mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side. A P stands for Philadelphia, and a D for Denver. Now, let's talk specs. The coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. On the reverse, you'll find the classic image of the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, grasping arrows in its talons, a strong symbol of American strength and resolve. Sounds standard, right? But here's where things get exciting. So why are people paying hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars for a coin that was minted by the millions? One word: errors. Some 1986 quarters were minted with striking mistakes or unique variations that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Let's break down some of the most sought-after errors. Double die verse, DDO. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by a misaligned die, resulting in visible doubling of letters or numbers. If you see doubling on the word Liberty, or the date 1986, you might be holding something special. Off-center strikes. Some 1986 quarters were struck off-center, meaning the design is shifted or partially missing. Depending on how off-center the strike is, these can fetch $50 to $500 or more. Clipped planchets. This error occurs when a blank planchet is improperly cut, leaving a crescent-shaped clip on the edge. These quirky-looking coins are favorites among error collectors. Missing mint mark, no P. While most quarters from Philadelphia bear the P mint mark, there are rare instances where the mark is missing entirely. These are rare and can be worth a good sum. Broad-struck errors. These happen when the collar die fails to properly hold the coin in place during striking, leading to a spread-out, flatter appearance. Broad-struck 1986 quarters can be very valuable depending on condition and severity. Alright, let's talk numbers. If you've got a basic, circulated 1986 quarter, it's typically worth face value, just 25 cents. But condition matters a lot. Uncirculated examples, those that have never been used, can sell for $1 to $5. Mint state, MS65 or better, examples are often valued between $15 and $50, depending on the mint and market demand. Certified high-grade coins, especially those graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can command $150 to $500 or more. Error coins like double die or off-center strikes. These can range from $100 all the way up to several $1,000s depending on rarity and condition. One especially rare and well-preserved 1986 D quarter with a dramatic off-center strike sold for nearly $1,300 at auction. That's right, over $1,000 for a coin most people overlook in their spare change. So, how can you cash in on a valuable 1986 quarter? Check the mint mark, look for DNP, and keep an eye out for any missing mint marks. Examine under magnification. Doubling, clipping, or off-center strikes may not be visible to the naked eye. Look at the condition. The shinier and more detailed your coin, the better. Weigh your coin. Some planchet errors can slightly change the weight. Anything noticeably over or under 5.67 grams could be unusual. Get it graded. If you think you've found a gem, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can massively increase your coin's value. So there you have it. The 1986 quarter isn't just spare change, it's a piece of American history, a collector's opportunity, and for some, a small metallic lottery ticket. Whether you're a casual collector, a history buff, or just curious about what's hiding in your pocket, keep your eyes peeled.